I just heard on Fox this morning that at the ladies' round table, Fox News, get foxes on there with legs sticking out. So no matter what's said, the stupid male watching it that ain't got no blooming sense don't care what they say, don't care what they do, because they're drunk. They're drunk on the wine of the immorality, the fornication. Just Fox News. Just keep looking at the foxes, boys, and you'll be stupid. Just drunk on that stuff. Anyway, the old girls, remember they put one old boy right up there, right in the middle of them. And their whole deal is to just say whatever they want to with their old legs sticking out there or their breast, and watch that old boy clown and snivel and gooble at the mouth, saliva, cause just tripping behind these females. Man, they said this morning, and proud of it, that the female in America, she is the biggest voting bloc, and that she determines the election, and that her mortal enemy is the white male, and that's why she hates Donald Trump. Well, let me tell you something here. They're going to be begging for white males before this thing is over. Even those old girls are probably into reading the tea leaves anyway. The witchcraft, that's why they operate the way they do anyway. If they were into godliness, they wouldn't be operating like that in the first place. But ISIS, all this stuff in the Middle East, the slaughtering of women and children is coming to the United States, and Obama is bringing that mess here. These 60 million babies that have been slaughtered and butchered, and these women, white and black alike, and brown, keep screaming for more and more and more of this. They're going to get cut up the same way they're slaughtering these babies like there's no God in heaven. Let me read a passage to you now. Israel got in trouble for the same thing. God did the same thing to Israel for this stuff. Had the women and the babies slaughtered, the babies cut out of the bellies, sent the women into captivity like slaves, destroyed their children in front of them. God did it to Israel, the apple of his eye. And the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, if he do it to Israel, he'll do it to the church for wickedness. And right now today, we have 50% abortion rate within the church like the world. I'm not talking about divorce. I'm talking about abortion. And they hide it. Let me read something to you out of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 3. About when the Lord is tired of the mess of the females. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. Judah's women denounced. You know, we as Christians, we're called the tribe of Judah, okay? But the Judah real tribe, the Jewish people. Moreover, verse 16, the Lord said, because of the daughters of Zion are proud, because these women are proud, and walk with heads held high and seductive eyes, and go along with mincing steps, and tinkle the bangles of their feet. I mean, because the girls are proud and stick their old thighs and legs up there on Fox with mini skirts, controlling the conversation by making people drunk on their beauty. Look at, just sex, just in your face, flesh. Because these old girls are proud and go about moving and having stuff on their leg. And everybody look at me, bangling, dingles, whatever, just making noise. Look at me. This is what he says. Therefore, the Lord will afflict the scalp of the daughters of Zion with scabs. And the Lord will make their foreheads bare, shave them bald, like concentration camps. Like cattle, brand them. In the day the Lord will take away the beauty of the anklets, the headbands, the crescent ornaments, dangling earrings, bracelets, veils, headdresses, ankle chains, sashes, perfume boxes, amulets, finger rings, nose rings, festal robes, outer tunics, cloaks, and money purses, hand mirrors, undergarments, turbans, and veils. Now it will come about that instead of sweet perfume, there will be purification. In other words, these women are going to get the evil and the coldness and the hardness put on them. that they've done to their husbands and their children and their babies, the abortion and just the whoredom, the heart of these girls that they don't need no man. They run everything and they use their sex to manipulate and play games of their femininity. He said, I'm going to take that away and I'm going to take their perfume away from them. They're not going to get any baths. They're not going to be able to clean themselves. They're going to stink to high heaven. I'm going to ruin their femininity, control, and manipulation on males that are destroying this earth behind that garbage, because the only thing the woman doesn't consider, hey, man ought to have his mind on God so he can do the right thing and be the right thing and go to the right place and be available to God instead of being manipulated by this feminine witchcraft, the spirit of Jezebel. Now here's what he says. Now will come about, instead of sweet perfume, there will purification. Instead of a belt, a rope. I'm take away that fine belt of yours, put a rope on you so we can drag you and do us an orgy somewhere on you, girl. You want everybody to see your butt, your behind, your breast. You want your legs out there and manipulate and control. Well, I don't put you out there and let everybody see them, let them have some. Just like what's being done in the Middle East. Just like what's being done around the world right now. This is exactly what's happening. These old girls being raped, and ISIS doing all this stuff. All this mess is going down, killing children and all this stuff. And the American women are sitting here and being fed this stuff by the media. Everything's hunky-dory. Don't worry about it. It ain't coming here. It is already here. And it's about to be loose. And the Muslim in the White House, these Muslims that's got control of this nation, they are not giving it back. They are going to pull the trigger, and you're going to wish you could find you a white male. Here we go. Instead of a belt, a rope. Instead of well-set hair, plucked out scalp. Pull the old girl's scalp out. Treat her like the bitch dog that she is. The way she's acting, like breeding stock, like, being led by sensual emotion rather than having the mind of Christ. Being a chaste woman. Man, these people that are coming, if you go read the Bible, you'll find that those people over there, that one of the things that brought Queen Esther into prominence that set the Jews free was the old king, the Persian king, and a woman that wouldn't listen to her and do her own thing. So the elders said, hey man, you got to get rid of that woman, because if you don't, all the other women's going to be raised now. He got rid of her. That opened the door for Queen Esther, and she saved the Jewish people behind that. These people are specialists at wiping out women who want to act like they're better than men, and they ought to call the shots and manipulate sexually. As a Christian, we ought to be moderate in everything. We ought to be in such a way that, hey, some femininity, you be you, I'll be me, I'm a man. But when it gets to the way it's gone now, where it's all leaning to the left, the women are controlling, it's all politically correct, whatever they want, whatever they think, you do it, or you're dog meat. That is going to end. A word to the wise. Fellas, if you love your wives, you better start sharpening them up on being chaste. You better make your daughters chaste. You better seek God and see what he wants you to do, because Obama and these people are letting these people in here to do a holocaust, and these females are going to be in bad trouble. Here we go. Now, instead of well-set hair, plucked out scalp. Instead of fine clothes, a donning of sackcloth. Donning. And no, I'll take away all your fine clothes. I'm put a bag on you. You're really going to be a bag woman now. You thought you were so big and bad, you didn't think anybody's going to stop you. But these men going to come in, and all your girly charms, it don't mean doodly squat to them. They're going to treat you like your cattle and your dogs, and you're asking for it. Because God has put it in your heart, just like God has put it in the heart of all men everywhere, to know that there is a God. God has put it in the hearts of women to know that men should rule over women, that they are in charge. They were created first. God gave them headship. It's God the Father, it's Jesus the Son, it's the man, it's the woman, it's the children. And when you got that turned around, you're manipulating your whole home, your community, your state, your government, even the world, getting the laws passed that the women rule and reign politically correct. God's going to stop it. It's got to be stopped. The nations in the West, their birth rate won't even allow them to exist anymore. That's why they got to bring in all these people. You take the Muslims, those people in the East, 8 children per family. They're coming. God's using them as an instrument to wipe these old girls out that don't want to have babies and want to manipulate and control these old men that don't want to be responsible for babies and all this stuff, and get people back the way they need to be. You better get right with God while you got time, because it's coming. The sword is coming. Now, Let's go. And branding. It says, I'm going to give you sackcloth instead of a dress, and I'm going to brand you instead of beauty. I'm going to mark you. I'll make you a piece of cattle. You're one of my 5 or 10 or 50 harem women. Get on out there. I'll holler for you when I want you. American woman, you better stop playing this mess. Western woman, you better stop playing this mess. God don't play that. God don't play it. God don't play it. Now, verse 25. Your men will fall by the sword, and your mighty ones in battle. Girls, here's the point. You found out, you jazzed out, controlled, and manipulated your men so much in the West that they just kowtowing about to you. God's going to allow them to fall in battle. They're not going to be bad enough and tough enough to deal with these savages. They're going to eat these men up, and them old boys you think going to keep protecting you. You're manipulating them. You manipulate their brains so much to protect your evil, your abortion, your divorce, your manipulation, all this garbage that they won't even be able to protect themselves. And you'll be left wide open to these savages to rape you till the cows come home, kill your babies, treat you like a dog, and give you all the abortions you want. Now, your men will fall by the sword, and your mighty ones in battle. And her gates will lament and mourn, and deserted she will set on the ground. God will make you set on the ground like a pauper. God will make you set on the ground. You will be all alone. Your kingdom, your mighty running everything will be over. And God's talking to the women here. The women here. God is dealing with the women here now, but he's going to really explain this even better going into chapter 4, verse 1. Verse 1. For 7 women will take hold of one man in that day, saying, we will eat our own bread, wear our own clothes, only let us be called by your name, take away our reproach. In that day the branch of the Lord will be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth will be the pride and adornment of the survivors of Israel. And it will come about that he who is left in Zion and remains in Jerusalem will be called holy, every one who is recorded for life in Jerusalem. When the Lord has washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion and purged the bloodshed of Jerusalem from her midst by the spirit of judgment and the spirit of burning. Girls, God has created everyone to be accountable to him. Man, woman, boy, and girl. And you can only hide behind others for so long. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. You better repent while there's time, because this judgment is coming to America. And if you will repent, perhaps you will be hidden from this Holocaust, this bloodbath is coming to America. Jesus is Lord.